I'm back with another video. Today, I want to tell you who is delaying the Iebc selection panel, who is delaying the whole process. At the end of this video, you will know that it's Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka without a doubt. He is the one who is responsible for this delay. Forget about the blame games, forget about shifting the blame to or passing the buck to other people. It's Kalonzo Musyoka. But first, I'd like to tell you this, and today I have notes. There's one Boniface Njogoo who is in a court in Kiambu, who is challenging the list of 8 because the selection panel has 9. But him is gone to court on the basis of 8 and saying under, I think, Article 59, I'm not so clear, so let me not quote it. He thinks there's no balance in this list. For example, there's no person of disability or persons with disability represented in the selection panel. So he's challenging the whole list as it is. But let me start from the principal act of the Iebc, which was amended to now include the nomination of membership to this selection panel. So this selection panel has 9 members. Interreligious organization as a whole were to produce 2. The Law Society of Kenya 1, Iebc 1, and the Parliamentary Service Commission 2. Now the political parties liaison committee as a whole were supposed to produce 3, which is Azimio produced 1. Then Kenya Kwanza, Azimio as a minority party produced, minority coalition party produced 1. Kenya Kwanza as a majority coalition party produced 1. And then there's this one slot. Now this one slot was supposed to be filled by a non-parliamentary political party, which means that you don't have a representation in parliament, but you're a political party. So they agreed on this. That amendment provides for this. However, they Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka had nominated Kokimuli. But there was a dispute over Wiper nominating someone again, yet they had produced as Azimio. That's the first stalemate. So there was a subcommittee that was formed to look into this. Now this subcommittee had other memberships under political parties liaison committee. This subcommittee agreed that the affiliate parties of Azimio should produce the last member or the last nominee to this selection panel. So they agreed the modality was to be in an election. A day before the election or before the election, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka managed to convince the other 23 affiliate parties of Azimio to drop off the race in favor of his nominee, which was Ambassador Kokimuli. And there's nothing wrong with nomination of Kokimuli. So once the other parties fell off, they only remained with the National Liberation Party under Augustine Muli, who was nominated. However, they tried to convince the Liberation Party, National Liberation Party, to withdraw the candidate. They refused. They even, I understand, they even offered money to the party as a non-parliamentary political party to withdraw their candidature. He refused. So they went into an election in Machakos, and Augustine Muli got 16 and Kokimuli got 7. Right. Total 23. It was full quorum. However, Wiper suddenly said, but it was not gender sensitive. This list was taken to Parliament as is. But somehow, Parliament said, but this list is not gender sensitive. So they decided to remove Augustine and entrench the name of Ambassador Kokimuli. But then this party, Liberal Party or Liberation Party, Liberal Party, contested and said, but there was an election outcome. Why is it that you are substituting our name? So they went to the political parties' dispute tribunal, which ruled in their favor and said that the election was above board. So Kalonzo Musyoka again went to the High Court and said no, on the basis of the list not being gender sensitive. Kalonzo Musyoka went to the High Court, and the High Court somehow agreed with Kalonzo Musyoka and even told this party, National Liberation Party, that you know what, or Liberal Party, you know what, you will be compensated millions of shillings or whatever for your candidature. Let Kokimuli go to the panel. But this party refused. They said no, but there was an election with a legitimate outcome. In fact, the High Court said that you can never expect a gender sensitive list in a competitive election. You understand? So they agreed with them, but said you'll be compensated. But the National Liberation Party said, no, all Liberal Party, I'm confusing that name. Said, no, our candidate won. He must be in the panel, selection panel. So then they went to the Court of Appeal. So basically, if you look at the delay, and this is, I'm going to have this on air today. I'm just trying to explain to you. And I'm going to have a whole length of the chronology plus dates. If you look at what happened, who is delaying the process? Kalonzo, who under Azimio, because that time it was under Azimio, the umbrella of Azimio, they had nominated. Then he decides to nominate again. Then after nominating again, they decide, this subcommittee decide we go into mediation and we go into an election. After going into an election, this guy, Augustine Muli, is voted. After being voted, Kalonzo Musyoka decides, no. He takes this list to Parliament, and Parliament writes back to Junet Mohammed and says, no, this list needs to be sensitive. So because he needs to be sensitive, in an election, even as an MP, if an MP loses an election now, and the number 2 was a man, or the first number 2 was a woman, if that MP, God forbid, dies, do we give it automatically to number 2? Or we go to a competitive election to elect a new one? We go to a competitive election. But Kalonzo, because of this dispute from Parliament writing, it's not sensitive, just decided, let's award it to number 2, who was Kokimuli. Again, trying to entrench his choice. It didn't work. These guys went to court. Again, High Court agreed with this party, but said, you'll be compensated. They said, no, but there's a competitive election. We must be given. Then they're now in the Court of Appeal. Now, the Court of Appeal is yet to be empaneled to look into this. We are, let me say from the Apollo, that movie, Houston, we got a problem. And the problem is wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. And because he wants his candidate into that selection panel. That's the problem with the IEBC. There's no other problem. Now you know.